XXFM.
This is Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcoming in the studio, first timer to the program. He is the founder?
The founder.
The founder of Broken Chains Awareness Development Group. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Jedkins. Good morning, sir. I'm just stumbling all over the place this morning. How are you, man?
I'm doing great.
Good. Mm-hmm. Tell us about Broken Chains.
Well, Broken Chains is a youth support organization.
Mm-hmm.
It came about for the Juneteenth celebration. We recognized that our youth didn't know much about Juneteenth, and they were without the knowledge of the past, they didn't seem to be excelling toward the future the way that we would like them to see.
Yeah.
So we organized Broken Chains Awareness Development Group with the purpose of breaking chains of bondage from the minds of the youth within our community and helping them to develop an awareness of their past, okay, with the hope that it would inspire them to work diligently and hard to catapult themselves to a greater future.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to help to develop the future leaders of our community, okay, and we're using Juneteenth as a foundation.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, over the last probably about 4 or 5 years, I've seen how the Juneteenth celebrations have, came up more.
Right.
How there's more awareness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have to thank the episode of Blackish. There was a Juneteenth.
Is that right?
Episode on the TV show Blackish, and it went through the history of that. But Juneteenth is celebrated down here, as it should be, because this was the last spot where the slaves knew that they were free, right there on the banks of Galveston. For those young people who are listening who may not know the story as as you would like them to, because they don't. Tell us real quick for them.
Well, if I give a quick episode of how I know about this future. In 1862, in September of 1862, Abraham Lincoln signed what was called a Pre-Emancipation Proclamation, which said that as of January 1, 1863, all slaves would be set free. Okay, now we still know that the Civil War was going on, but the North started freeing their slaves in 1863. The news got to Texas 2.5 years later. Mm-hmm. The last place that slavery was ended in the United States of America was Texas. Galveston, Texas is where it started. And so at that time, over 150 years ago, we started celebrating by having picnics, family reunions, and parades. Yeah. And see, for 150 plus years, all we did was have picnics celebrating what happened in the past.
Right.
Okay, now we decided that it's time to stop only celebrating the past, but let us do some celebrating for the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so what Broken Chains decided, the organization decided that not only would we have the picnics and the balls and the dances and so forth, but we'd also make an investment in the future. Okay, so we take our young men and women out of our community and we try to mentor them, okay, with the knowledge of the past, like the bird, the Sokofa. The Sokofa bird is an African symbol that of a bird facing, with his feet facing forward. But his neck is going back to pick up the golden egg. And what it represents is that the bird says it's all right to bring your past with you. So we're moving forward. Yeah. Okay. But we want to take the past and use it in a positive manner. You know, to inspire our children to reach for the highest level of success that they can. Okay.
Yes, indeed. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Mr. Gary Jedkins from Broken Chains Awareness Development Group. They are having a Juneteenth Scholarship Gala.
Correct.
That is coming up. When does that happen?
Our Scholarship Gala this year is going to be on June 22nd. That way we want to get hooked up with the Father's Day and the Urban League and all these other affairs that's going on. We're going to be at not the Broken Chains. We're going to be at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum.
Okay.
Okay, and let me see. I can't think what that. Let me see what that address is.
Down there on
is at 3816 Caroline Street.
Yeah, Caroline.
Okay, it's going to be on the 20. Like I said, on the 22nd. The tickets are $50 a piece. Okay, and they're going fast. And the fair is going to be from 7:30 until 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, we like to hear from everybody who wants to know something about Broken Chains or who like to know something about the affair. And we can always be reached at our email address, which is brokenchains123@yahoo.com. That's our email address. We also, another email address is futureleaders@brokenchainsadg.com. That's where we are. We're Broken Chains Awareness Development Group. And our website, if you want to learn more about what we do, our website is brokenchainsadg.com or .org. I'm sorry.
brokenchainsadg.org.
Yes.
.org to check that out. So at the Juneteenth Scholarship Gala that's going to be on the 22nd, this coming Saturday, what are people going to expect? And are these kids, how did they receive the scholarship? What was the process with Broken Chains?
We take time to mentor these kids most times and try to give them some insight of what Juneteenth is all about. And so far, as we're in our 5th year, so far we asked for an essay. Okay, I think it's 500 words or 700 word essay depicting what Juneteenth and what freedom means to you. And aligning it what life is to you now.
Today.
Okay, so it talks about it has them take the past of freedom of Juneteenth and speak on it as applied to today. Yes.
I love that. Oh, I bet those were amazing.
Those were some good. It was some good essays. We had to turn some down because we couldn't give them all a scholarship. What we do is that we give our scholarships are $1,000 plus a laptop computer. Which goes to the college or the school of their choice. We're not actually looking for A students. We're looking for, you can be a C student who has aspirations for high levels because we believe that education is the key. Our group believes that education is the key. So it's not just limited to straight A students. Okay, it's a student who's willing to do the work, make the commitment. Okay, and represent and would represent us in a manner that we should be represented. We had a creed, and what part of the creed said that that between slavery to freedom, we forgot who we be. Okay, and so we are royalty. Okay,
yes.
We're descendants of royalty.
Yes,
we're the first. We're the great. We're strong. Okay, we're supposed to be proud.
Yeah.
But somewhere we need to have the elders of our community to invest in the youth of our community so they can aspire for the same greatness that we have to go back and bring that greatness up to the day that everybody would recognize who we really are. Okay, strong, proud, and royal.
Yeah, I love it. Mr. Gary Jedkins from Broken Chains Awareness Development Group. Man, the Juneteenth Scholarship Gala happening at the Buffalo Soldiers Museum on this Saturday, the 22nd. So you can go to their website at brokenchainsadg.org for all the information. Mr. Jedkins, are you all on social media? These kids, they stay on their phone on Instagram.
We're on social media. It's the board consists of the elders of the community, but we do have some young people that's getting us into the group.
The fold.
We aren't. This is our 5th year. Let me repeat. This is our 5th year, and so we're not where we want to be, but we're learning from year to year. Okay, and we're getting there. And we can see that this is going to be a nationwide. Because this is the only real place that we really celebrate freedom. Yeah. Cinco de Mayo is celebrated so vividly. Right. Okay.
Right. And the Mexicans, they don't even consider that nothing. That's an American thing.
Yeah. But you see, that's part of our heritage. Okay. So we believe that we should not destroy the history of slavery, just like we should not destroy the history of freedom.
Amen.
Okay.
I'm with that. Mr. Jedkins, I honestly feel that Juneteenth should be a national holiday.
It should, yes.
I mean, just like the 4th of July.
Yes, it should.
We should probably switch out the two.
Okay.
You know.
But and we celebrate the 4th of July. We celebrate the 4th of July.
We celebrate the 4th of July.
Okay, so we should definitely celebrate Juneteenth.
I mean, and I have. And some of the traditional celebration antics of Juneteenth, like the drinking of the hibiscus tea, or the red stone water.
Watermelon, red soda water, barbecue watermelon, red soda water, dancing and partying and having a good time.
Yeah, red soda water. That's right.
And all of it's done with the thought of the past, and we had not done it with the thought of the future. So living in today with no thought of tomorrow. Yeah. That's what it's been. We're taking it out of today, and we're moving it into tomorrow. And so the recipients of our scholarships become members of Broken Chains Awareness Development Group. And 20 years from now, when they become CEOs of companies and when they reach their level of greatness, they will always be able to pay it back into Broken Chains so that they can help the youth that's coming behind them. That's one thing that we should learn to do, greatly.
Indeed, with ourselves.
It takes a community.
That's right.
And when the community took its hands off the youth, then the youth started going awry. Okay, so those who are willing, those who would recognize and are willing and can see this vision, the vision that we have became about a mission. And for the young people that we can touch, we're going out to the schools in the community, inner city community. They call them at-risk kids. I don't particularly like the word at-risk kids. It's just that kids that are not knowledgeable of who they really are. And so we're going into the schools trying to, and with the intention of enlightening them or making them aware of who they are. So if you know who you are, then you have a tendency to act the way who you are. And
I'm going to leave it at that. Mr. Gary Jedkins from Broken Chains Awareness Development Group. Man, this was amazing. I'm so glad that you are as passionate about Juneteenth, this celebration of freedom, as much as I am. And I hope to see you at the scholarship gala.
I would love to see you there. I would love to see you there.
Indeed. Let's make that happen.
Okay.
Gary Jedkins of Broken Chains. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth, welcoming some first-timers to the program. One's a little nervous, but we are going to make it easy for them. Trust me when I say. Please welcome the founder of We See Abilities, Mr. Mythiquer Pickett. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And
thank you so much for having us here.
Oh, man, you are so very welcome. And we also have Mr. Wonderful himself, Mr. Justin Wallingford. How you doing, Justin?
Man? I am doing really good. Enjoying this beautiful day.
Well, thank you for being here. And we also have Justin's mother, the lovely Brenda Wallingford. Good morning.
Good morning.
And so, Mythiquer, tell us about We See Abilities, what it is that you all do, and how long has the organization been around?
Yes, so We See Abilities started about 3 years ago. It's designed to give our special abilities population a better quality of life through the joys of sports and community activities. Over the past 3 years, we've probably executed successfully over 200 events that are 100% free. We offer a lot of community activities, fun sporting outings, just adventure, therapy, hope, inspiration, and we do not charge any of our participants. They get a chance to enjoy life, be included into social activities at no cost.
Wow. So what was the inspiration, or what was it that happened or that you went through that made you want to start We See Abilities?
Yes. So everyone has an encounter or conviction that births your purpose.
Yeah.
And so my purpose was birthed through an encounter I had with the special population about 10 years ago. I was volunteering at a facility where I didn't realize that it was actually a facility for intellectual disabilities. I just was volunteering because it said adult daycare, and I thought I was going to be in there with senior citizens because they didn't want to be called seniors. We don't want to call this a senior care place. We want to call it adult care place. You know, I was like, that is humorous. So I was like, oh, I got to be there. I want to be around those people. And And I was abandoned when I was 12 years old. My mom left me on the side of the road. And so I kind of related to the senior population because between 12 and 17, bouncing from home to home and living in people's, closets and just hanging out, it was mostly with the senior population. So when I moved to Houston, I wanted to give back. And so I found a day program that said adult care, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I get to play backgammon and chess and hear some old stories. And so I walked into this facility, and there were kids in there around my age with learning disabilities. And it shocked me. I really didn't understand what was happening. I wanted to decommit, but I understood the value of volunteering. And I knew if I left, then it would have put more pressure on the next person that volunteered. And so I stayed. And then I started falling in love with the hugs. I started falling in love with the smiles. And it started changing me and making me a better person. And I got through lunch, and I was like, okay, this is not bad. This is actually great. Like, I'm having a great time with this population. And so the encounter occurred when I took two gentlemen into the restroom to change their shirts. So I was like, okay, we're going to change their shirts. And then it's funny how God fully equips you with all the tools you need to do the job. So he's not going to put more on you than you can bear. And so I'm in the restroom, and then here comes the manager, and he hands me Depends, he hands me wipes, he hands me gloves, he hands me powder. And I'm like, whoa. First of all, I didn't sign up for that. I was having some pride issues, and I was like, that's way too much. And so, but again, I was fully equipped, had the ability to give these guys their dignity back, and I was struggling with some pride issues. And then that's when I could hear the Holy Spirit really tug at my heart, saying, hey, Mythiquer, you're one accident away from someone changing your Depends. You're one bad decision away. You're one heartbeat away. And I mean, that was like clear as day, like I'm talking right now. And it rocked me. It rocked me in that restroom with those two individuals. And I fell to my knees. I started crying, and I was like, God, I'm so sorry I had pride issues. I'm sorry that I thought I was above helping these individuals get their dignity back. And once I got up off the floor and wiped my eyes off, and they're nonverbal, and they're just laughing at me like, yeah, get him, God, get him. And so I get emotional talking about it, but I changed those individuals, and I was able to give them their dignity back. And I told God then, I said, I know this is my purpose in life, is to give them a better quality of life, and I just don't know how to do it. And so for about 7 years or so, I kind of volunteered. But about 3 years ago, I actually answered the call full time and says, you know what, this is ministry. This is what I'm called to do. And so 3 years ago, we see abilities with birth. And so we've been adding value to the lives of the special community. We say special abilities because we call them family and friends, and not clients or what other verbiage that people could say. Right. But yeah, so I've been doing that, and we've been rolling. We've been rolling.
Man, what an amazing story!
Contagious positivity is what we call it.
Contagious. Oh my God, contagious positivity. Yes, I love it. You listen to Access Houston. We're talking to Mythiquer Pickett, the founder of We See Abilities. Mr. Wonderful 2019, which is a celebration, is happening this Saturday, the 22nd, from 6 until 8 at the Hughes Landing in the Woodlands. And we have the current reigning Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Justin Wallingford. Man, so how does it feel to be Mr. Wonderful? How was that when you won the title?
Well, it felt, amazing. It felt great. I was surprised that they called my name, and I was speechless.
Yeah. And here you are, still holding it down. I'm anxious to know in the category. So how many categories were there?
There were only 2 categories.
Okay.
There was the junior, and then there was the senior division. And the junior was the younger kids, and then the senior was the older kids. So that's the
2. Yeah. And what do you think that it was that you presented that made you the winner? What do you think it was?
Well, I tell this to everybody, and I'm going to tell y'all right now that the best way It's just to be yourself. Don't try to put on anything that you're not. Just be yourself, bring a smile, and just have a good time. That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's amazing. And for you, Miss Wallingford, Justin's mother, how has this journey been for you?
Oh, it's been wonderful. It's been great to see Justin and how he's blossomed over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
We See Abilities and Mr. Wonderful gave him opportunity to display his personality, his love for other people, especially the special needs community, and how that they just want inclusion. And it's been wonderful to see these two, Mythiquer and Justin, along with the other, contestants that were in. They still are all very involved, and just to see them grow as a family. We go to birthday parties with each other now. Where before you were never invited to a birthday party. Yeah. But it's been great watching him just blossom.
Yeah, indeed. So with people who are in the program, is it a variety of folks from maybe disabilities to folks that are on the autism spectrum and all of that?
Yeah, so the youngest contestant we had participate was Silas. He was 4 years old at the time in that one. And all the way up to adults to Ronnie Brown's 64, and we're saying from spina bifida, cerebral palsy to Down syndrome, so basically to autism, just inclusion for all. Yeah,
inclusion for all.
Yeah, yes. And we hold true to all abilities when we say that, because we look at every person that could be labeled with a disability or special needs as the terminology is used most frequently. We see abilities in them, and that's what We See Abilities stands for, is seeing the abilities in the population. We don't see disabilities, and that's the beautiful thing. What we do is give them an opportunity through inclusion to flourish, to build confidence. We believe in the 3 C's, right? And so our 3 C's are collaboration. That means work with someone that doesn't look like you. You know what I'm saying? And then number 2 is confidence, words of affirmation. You're amazing. You're wonderfully made. Words of affirmation. And then 3 is creativity, inspire hope. Through whatever you want to do or whatever you want to be, just be creative, right? And inspire hope. And so we do that very well as a family, as a unit. We believe in contagious positivity, creating an environment where the parents never have to say sorry.
Yeah. Yes. I love that, all of that, and my heart is just tingling inside. Yeah. You're listening to Access Houston, talking to Brenda, Mythiquer, and Justin from We See Abilities. The Mr. Wonderful is happening this Saturday. So walk us through. What can folks expect when they show up on Saturday? Yeah,
so it's super exciting. The pageant is a 3-day weekend. So June 21st is Latin night. Okay. So you definitely want to come out for that.
Okay.
It's
all right.
free.
Friday night, Latin night.
Friday night, Latin night. Yeah, there you go. It's held at the Embassy Suites Hotel in the Woodlands. We open up the big ballroom, so it feeds about 300 people. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. Fred Astaire Dance Studio.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
They come in and they teach our guys bachata, and the ladies that come, they teach them bachata.
I see you, Justin.
There you go. And salsa, and then we have a taco bar for the contestants, and then we have a lot of pageant women and girls in the Houston area. So there's a lot of different pageants here, but the big one is Miss Houston and Miss Texas and Miss Teen Houston and then Miss Houston. So the Houston pageant girls come out, and man, it turns into one big amazing party. So that's Friday night. Saturday is a team building exercise with the contestants. Okay. So they have a breakfast by the embassy, and then we go on a team building exercise at main event. It's a bowling event.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the parents, we give them what we call respite. We give them a chance to go and do something else. And I don't want to disclose all the cool stuff because we got a mom here. But they last year, what did y'all do last year? Just talk a little bit about it.
They took us to just on a tour of Hughes Landing, and we had dinner They took us in ice cream. They took us to Vampas, and we experienced, the different oils and liquors. And we, were eating creme brulee.
Ooh, that was at the Broken Barrel.
Yeah.
It sounds like
mimosas.
I know, right? I'm with you.
It was really wonderful for the parents that we entrusted Mythiquer and the group that he had brought together with our children. And, they come back and they had a great time, but my husband and I got to have that respite, that time for just me and him that we don't normally get.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Well,
yeah.
It sounds like an amazing event. Yeah. It's okay, Brenda. This is going to be amazing. So save the date, Houston, for this Saturday, the 22nd, for Mr. Wonderful 2019. That will be out in the Woodlands.
Yes.
At the Hughes Landing. That's 1900 Hughes Landing Boulevard, Suite 500 in the Woodlands. So make sure you bring your lawn chair, blanket. There's free parking, and it's going to be great. There's a special place in heaven for you, Mythiquer, for what you do, and just being on the front line and showing everyone else that our special community. They just want to be seen. That's right. And I see the I see the love for them just constantly growing with videos that I come across on Instagram and Twitter, just over social media here lately. The one contestant who was on America's Got Talent, who has autism, who's on autism.
Cody, he was phenomenal.
And he got on that piano and sang and played. And it was just, I mean, my eyes started to sweat, when watching that. And just knowing that they do have something to offer to society.
Thank you for saying that.
And they should not be shunned. Oh, yeah, my mother was big on that. Like when we would see people with disabilities, she would always stop and tell us how they should be treated, which is like a normal person.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't treat them as if, they're a charity case or nothing. Treat them just like you would treat anyone else.
Yeah.
And that was important to her.
Yes,
and my brothers and I, we all have sympathy and empathy for them, and we treat them the same. So
absolutely.
We want the rest of society to take the same lead.
We just want to be loved and accepted. That's all we want.
That's all you want.
That's all I want. Love and acceptance, man.
And I'm going to keep it right there. So, Justin, tell us where we can find you all on social.
Well, you can find us on three social medias. You can find us on YouTube at We See Abilities, and you can also find us on Facebook at We See Abilities. They also have a page called We See Abilities, and they also have an Instagram called We See Abilities. So y'all look them up and follow their channel and their Facebook page, get notifications, and get the updates.
Brenda, Justin, and Mythiquer, thank you all so much for coming on. We'll see you Saturday at Mr. Wonderful 2019.
Woo!
Thank you.
Mr. Wonderful 2019. Let's do it.
Yes. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.
We'll be back with more Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.